Well, hello, welcome back. Boy, that was a fast week. Boy, that went by so fast. It
Mm.
was almost like we never left our chairs.
It feels like that sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for taking some time to spend with us on
Yeah.
this great day. Actually, we're recording this one in the daytime, and so it's awful nice to know that when we're done, we can still have some day ahead of us and get out there and enjoy
Hmm.
some of that. And we are
Nice.
hoping that you're enjoying your summer so far. And because it comes and goes so fast. I mean, here we are this week coming up. Actually, this week we will be in August. And wow, like where'd that come from, right?
Oh, it's so crazy. Every year this happens, and every year I just feel like we're saying the same things. Like, I can't believe it's August, went by so fast. But we did have a rainy start, so
Yeah, we did. Actually, spring was kind of awful this year. I don't think we had a spring. It was like, I don't know, rainy season until summer hit.
9 Saturdays in a row was raining or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for all those people who
Yeah.
like to do sporting things and be outside, it's not been great. But there's some reprieve now. We're getting some good weather and so on. So that's good. So, for all of you folks out there who watch us on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you would. Share, share, share. It'll really help our algorithm here on the show and get
Thanks,
us out
guys.
to more people because we would like to speak to as many people as we can and share the word of photography. That's what we're all about. And also Facebook and Rogers. Thank you all of you for supporting
Mhm.
us, and we want, of course, give as much content as we can. So, having said that, today we are talking about, I don't know, I guess a couple of things. You tell us what we're talking about, Kate.
Well, I think what we've been talking about most recently is you know you're getting ready to shoot some sort of like group photo, an event photo, but you're going to be managing a lot of people. This could come in
Yeah.
the form of a wedding, an event, like, you know, I don't know, I guess event just kind of covers it all, right?
Yeah.
Um, do you go ahead of time, maybe another day, maybe earlier on the same day, if it's outside especially, do you go ahead of time and scope out the locations to know exactly where you're going to direct people, so you kind of take that load off your mind of not knowing. Or maybe some people are just like, I'll just figure it out when I get there. No, no sweat, right? Kind of thing.
Hmm.
My time is, it- you know, do I want to spend extra time going ahead of time or whatever? I am one of those people who I absolutely will go ahead of time, like on my
Hmm.
own time, just because I don't want to have that pressure of the unknown on my shoulders. So this happens to me often with weddings, for example. If it's a venue I've never been to, I 100% will either go in like an hour or so early, or I'll go another day, preferably
Hmm.
another day at the same time that I'll be taking the outdoor photos to scope out the best place based on light. Maybe, like, okay, is it going to be raining? I should have a plan B in mind for then, not just for my own peace of mind, but I also want to project an aura of confidence and calm and
Yeah.
control when I'm directing the people that are looking to me for like instruction, like where are we going? What do we do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want the bride and groom to have to be like, oh well, let's go over here. I want to be able to just guide them and just say, look, I did find a place, let's go here. Are you with me on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't shot a gazillion events where there's a lot of group of people, a large group of people. So yeah, I think it would be a nightmare to just show up and say, okay, who's the leader? Who's the person that needs? Who's in charge? And where are we taking this picture?
Right. Right.
Whoa.
Exactly.
No.
Yes. So anyways, I have an example where this happened. It was in the fall. It was, I think, early October. Not that that matters, but it does kind of for the spot I
Yeah.
found. It was at a spot, I think it's called Dominion Hill. It's a wedding venue. It's like an old farmhouse, but they turned it into like you can go into the woods and like use their cabins and glamping domes and that kind of thing. It's a really beautiful country wooded location to go and have
Hmm.
your wedding. You can eat there. Like it's all just kind of right there. It's about an hour outside of St. John. And I'd never been there. So I went ahead of time. I didn't go a day ahead like I kind of wanted to, but anyways, I got there like about an hour ahead of when I was supposed to.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm seeing the locations. I'm not in love with any of what might be kind of like the typical places to take pictures, like in front of the house or in front of the harbor thing, or like, and I'm talking like I wanted to find a special spot for like the wedding party and the bride and groom. Um, anyways, so I was like, okay, I see some trails like going into the woods. Like I'm gonna just go in there and see what this looks like.
Hmm.
So I did, and I was really lucky because I probably walked about, 5 minutes into the woods and just found this really beautiful spot with like the birch trees, and like so the birch trees have like the white bark, and then in the fall like the beautiful yellow leaves. And it was just beautiful. Like in a few photos, like the leaves are kind of falling down. The videographer that was with me, the video that she got of them in this location was great because there were like the leaves coming down. It was very
Yeah.
magical. So but if I hadn't shown up before, I would not have gone as far into the woods just kind of on a whim, because I wouldn't have known. I would have felt like I was leading them on a wild goose chase,
Hmm.
not knowing what was just a little further ahead. So because I had gone and scoped it out, I knew to just say like, I know it seems like we're not really going anywhere, but if you just trust me just a little bit further, we're gonna come to this like kind of opening in the path, and it's gonna be beautiful. And it was. So um I'll show you the photos that came, a few of them that came out of this. I'm gonna start here. And one second, share my screen. I just love a fall wedding. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I just think I just feel like everything should be done in the fall.
Yeah.
Summer to me is kind of like being like a lizard, like just kind of keeping it slow and not moving too fast. Okay, so if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see like the yeah, just like the birch trees and like the fir trees also just kind of filling in the sides.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it was just such a lovely fall day. Like you really couldn't get any better. And you can see the yellow leaves that had fallen and like were resting on the fir trees off to the side.
Yeah.
And it was just a gorgeous day. And it provided some filtered light. Oh, it provided some filtered light as well because it was a sunny day for sure.
Hmm.
But like the I mean the fall palette, right? Like you just the oranges, the yellows, the browns.
Yeah.
Um, I could just live in the if there was a place that was just permanently fall, like I would just sign me up. So
It's
yeah, so anyway, so just kind of an example of scoping out the location just really changed the day.
what's interesting with that is how fortunate you were to have the evergreens as the background because they're wearing white, a good part of the white, and it has such a dark
Yeah,
background with those evergreens. And yet the top came through with those
love
beautiful
that.
yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that
Oh,
was great eye. Wow.
yeah, the evergreens were just like that, just that color palette, and the way that that tree was like arching over them, like I don't know, it was a very satisfying
Wow.
like shoot. So
So how did
that
they
was my
feel about
example.
it?
Yeah.
How did they feel about it when you took them in there? Did they have any idea even where they were going?
No, it was just it was they no, it was just kind of off to the side. And um yeah, I think it was just a kind of a pleasant surprise. It was just nice because it took us away from the crowd,
Yeah.
like the wedding guests, and just it seemed private, like we were just kind of in our own little world in the woods. But again, it wasn't that far away. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like it worked out pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop sharing now.
Wow. So that was our time well spent in looking for a location. And now you've
Yeah,
got
but it was
one.
just yeah.
Now you've got one for down the road. If you ever decide you want to do that again
Yeah.
at that time of the year, now you can know you've got a beautiful spot.
Yes, and I'm not so on the ball that I would probably pre-visit a location I already knew ahead of time, unless I don't know, it was a different season maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't know. To each their own, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah. And
Well,
so, how about
that's
you? I feel like you've done a big event recently, didn't you?
yeah, I did. Again, like we talked about last week, was I was up at the Highland Games, and the reason I went there was because there was one of the groups, the Caledonian Pipe Band, that's been around since 1908. Believe it or not,
Dang.
not these ones. Obviously, it's more for different players, but um, anyway,
They look good.
they look really good for just being
Yeah,
that
what's
old.
their secret? Must be
100
those pipes.
117 years old. They're doing well. So, but the band's been around that long, so that's very cool. So there's a lot of tradition steeped in that group, and they hadn't had a group photo in a long time, and and that's what was my main thing, was to go up and shoot this group photo, and then the rest of the day do candid shots and some performance shots and things like that. So that was all fine. That was all good.
Yeah.
So I hadn't shot a group like this. This was my first one, to be honest. A group of this
Okay.
size, um, and to try to get it right, because in that kind of an environment, or that kind of a group, there are the pipers, and then there are the drummers, and in many cases they are a very divided group. I don't mean in personality wise, but it's just when they practice, the pipers always practice by themselves. When the drummers practice,
Mm.
they always practice by themselves. But when they come together, they put it all together, and there's a person that stands there, and he has his foot moving. He's the only person that's allowed to have the foot moving in time, because he is the timekeeper for all the pipers. So that's what
Okay.
they go
Yes.
by, right? So so their metronome is that guy's foot, or girl's foot, whoever it happens to be.
Yeah.
So so based on all of this collection of precision and all of this, I'm thinking, man, they're going to be so fussy about the picture. I got to make sure I do this right, because I can't just go up and say, okay, well, everybody, let's just jump in and let's see, who wants to be here, and you can't do that. You would it would never happen, because I tell you what the situation was here was, they had just, and I knew it was coming this way, but they had just gotten off the field. They're doing this major march with all the bands that are competing, and that's how they open it up. Everybody's playing, and they do this march. As soon as
Yeah.
that happens, there's all these other activities that go on right afterwards. So I've got about maybe 10 minutes to maybe collect these people and keep their attention to get a shot, right? So there's 20, I think there's 20 or 21 of them. So I'm thinking, I can't just go up there and do that. It's just not going to come together. So and this is about an hour and a half away from where I live, and so I actually drove up a couple of days before, and I
Oh, yes.
looked around the facility, and I even downloaded the building so I could see what the building was before I even went up there, and to find
Mhm.
out, what's the structure, what's east facing, what's north facing, where's the sun coming from, all that stuff,
Okay.
because so
Yeah.
our worst nightmare is to get up there and have crappy lighting, or have all these trees and all these speckles of light. You just can't do that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway, so I went up there, and I have the tape measure, and I measured on the steps where I was going to do it. I figured how wide each person was, how many of them there were, and then how many people back in terms of rows that there would have to be. And then I even went out to
Mhm.
where my camera is going to be and started taking test shots to see what lens am I going to use, and what
Mm.
aperture and all of that stuff, because there's nothing worse than taking a really tight shot with a wide lens, because you get distortions. So you want to be able to get
Yep.
back a certain distance, right? So I wanted to use
Yes.
at minimum 50 millimeters, and anywhere between 50 and 85, and I ended up using 70, which turned out
Okay.
just great. So that worked out well. So, but anyway, so in the meantime, I'm going to show the picture. I'll bring it up, and just hang on here. Okay, there it is. There's the band picture. Just one second to get rid of her. I'm just going to zoom in on it just a little bit. There
Oh,
we
I love the
go.
colors.
So the first thing we had to do with this photo is what are you going to do with everybody, all these people? And then there's some instruments you want to use to show off the band, so you have to highlight them with
Right.
instruments. So basically, I knew I was going to put the drums on the ground, and I knew I was going to
Mhm.
spread them wide. But the steps that they're on is actually curved. There's quite a curve to it. So when I put the
Oh,
drum up, I tried to put the drum up, center it with the door in the back, and then curve the drums in the back, and then have everybody follow that same pattern. So as they go up the steps, it's not going to look like some people are closer and further apart and so on. And then
yeah.
to get everybody put together in terms of the correct height and all this, and I didn't know any of these people, and I didn't even know the sizes, shapes of them or anything. And so anyway, we went up because I had it all in my head exactly what I wanted to do. I said, okay, guys, this is what we're doing. Drums here, that snare drum there, that snare drum there. Great, thank you very much. Stand back, guys. And then I actually put the drums where I knew I wanted them to be. And then I said, okay, so let's get the people in the front first. I want all the tall people on the, and then you started organizing it like that. But because I knew how many I had to deal with, I knew how many rows I had to go back, and I was able to get this shot. These guys all put together in this shot taken probably maybe 7 minutes, seven,
I did
maybe
not
10.
expect you to say that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
wow,
was it.
very
Seven
nice.
minutes, had the shot, and then off they went to the next
Yeah,
competition or the next thing that they were doing.
great.
So, but it
But
was,
you,
it was scary because, I mean, this is a photo that they're going to
how
want,
long did how long
you
did the
know.
shoot, the photo actually take when you take into account all the time you put in though, right? Like that wasn't a 7 minute
No,
photo. That was,
no, that was actually hours and hours. And well, you drive to Fredericton, it's an hour and a half either way.
and it's not
There's
an
three
easy
hours of
drive. You had to go
driving
through Cambridge Narrows.
to go look at the location, and then there's another 3 hours to go
Mhm.
up and shoot it. So there's 6 hours just in driving. So yeah, so these shoots take a long time. For those photographers out there who are afraid to, to say, you need to help me out a little bit here, especially with something along the lines of this. You put a
Yes.
lot into it, and in order for to have, because all the clients see really is you go and click,
Yes.
right? But now, if you didn't have it organized, then they would see you panicking and going click, 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 click,
Yes.
trying to hope that
Exactly.
spray and
Exactly.
pray, and hope that you
Yes.
got one that's going to work, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, so there's all that goes into it. Then there's all the time thinking about how it's going to go, and anyway, all that calculation. But for a successful photo that you're going to put in your band house for the next how many years, it's got to be right. And the only way to do it is to really plan. So my advice to anybody who's doing this, unless you've been doing it for a long time, is take the time to
Yeah.
plan it, because it'll go like that. It's like
Yeah.
clockwork, and you will look so much more professional,
Absolutely.
than if you hadn't, right? So
Yeah. In that photo that you took, I just love it because I love the natural symmetry happening with like the green vines, then the two pillars, and
yeah,
then the two windows, and then the two doors. Like it's so satisfying. It's a perfect location that you picked out, and then the way that you made everybody symmetrical on the steps and the the drums at the bottom. It's a very nice photo, and yeah, that's such a definition of like professional photo. Like just you kind of describing the steps you took to go and measure things out, scope it out, see the light. And it's also part of customer service because
yeah,
that allowed you to handle the people in the photo efficiently and comfortably. You didn't waste their time. You didn't make them feel rushed. It was
yeah,
probably really fun for them. So that's part of being a professional photographer too, an event photographer, is that you you are managing people as well. It's not just going there and taking the photo. It's like, you're managing their experience.
yeah,
There's a lot to it.
yeah. I think for the most part, uh, the best photographers will do that on every shoot. Now, like I've done recently some musician shoots, and I'll spend a lot of time just kind of figuring out,
Mm.
talking to them first, finding out what it is that they want. I'll even suggest just go on Pinterest and find some photos that you like, or find the moods or the aura that you want to convey with who you are. And then based on that, then we can start looking at that and figure out, okay, so this is the lighting approach that we want to take. This is how we're going to bring out your personality. And then before they even show up, for the most part, I'll have lights already set. I'll have that mood created. And when we go in, it's just not coming in and then me have them wait for me to spend, an hour or more putting together a scene.
Mm-hmm.
The scene will be ready
Mm-hmm.
because we've already talked about it. We already know what we're going to shoot. So within the first few minutes, we've got some positive photos coming back that they're looking at going, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. So that's a really
Yeah.
good positive way to start a shoot. And then from there moving
Yeah.
forward, it's just all about creativity and not anything
Yes.
else than that, right?
Yeah, because you really want to, by the time the subject gets to the shoot, it's
Hmm.
all about them.
Yeah.
It's not about like, I mean, it's good. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's going to be about light adjustments and that kind of thing. But you know, it's I feel like that we should be ready to bring them in and just kind of focus on them and making them
Yeah.
comfortable and that kind of thing. So, do you find with your shoots like that, do you have a sense of like an average time it takes for people to get comfortable taking one-on-one studio photos? Like,
It
do you
de-
have a method to kind of get them there?
yeah, it depends on how much. It depends first of all, because as you know, when we shoot, a lot of the times we'll shoot into a warm market, people that we already know. So those ones, it's not
Yes.
too bad because at least we know who they are, they know us. So there's that common ground anyway. But for somebody
Mhm.
who've never really met, other than, oh, I saw what you do and could you do that for me?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I would say probably a good 40 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes, because I don't even pick up a camera at least until a half hour in. I say,
Really?
look, let's sit down, let's have a chat. I want to get to know you a little bit, and I want to talk about,
Okay.
what are you doing?
Okay.
What are you up to? What do if this is a
Yeah.
music thing, what's going on with your career? Where are you heading with this? What do you do? Do you do
Yeah.
something beside, get to know them so that they're comfortable lighting it down, and you can start to see their personality, and then their
Mm,
personality is going to tell you a lot about how you want to approach the shoot, right? So,
that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I do that too, but my method is a different. I ask for a meet and greet either in person or over video before the shoot.
Hmm.
But the same thing, right? Like you can't just start cold shooting somebody and expect
No.
it unless they're like I don't know, like a seasoned model, you know what I mean? Like I just walk in and be like, I know what I'm doing. And that's
Yeah.
rare. And I tell people that
Yeah.
people are coming like, I don't know what to do, or I'm like, look, no one does. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
95% of people do not walk into the studio ready to shoot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and to get the people to do like that one that we talked about last week about with the keyboard player that you shot,
yeah, yeah,
to have that pose come out, um,
yeah.
of a someone
But
you've
that
never.
wasn't first shot. That was
Yeah.
20 minutes in or so at least, right?
Yeah. But still, I mean, so there's somebody who's not a model, she's a musician, but the whole thing came off as like she was coached extremely well to get that pose that you had gotten out of it. So, um, so how do you find it? Like, how long does it take you to get comfortable?
I find that usually takes 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
I will do a false start with some people. Like I'll get them to sit down and I will take about 5 minutes and just say, hey, I'm just going to take a few test shots, just getting my lighting and stuff. But really, it's me just kind of taking photos of them because sometimes the best photos are the in-betweens of just like, well, they're not aware that
Yeah.
or if I'm like, okay, could you just like unbutton your collar or hey, could you just move your hair to your face or something? And
Yeah.
sometimes those candid movements, I'm just kind of snapping while they're doing stuff because like you never know, like the turn of someone's head or like the way their hand goes could be the shot.
Yeah.
Usually what I'll do is I know I don't have a screen set up in my studio yet to see the shots as they come in real time, which I do want to get. So but
Hmm.
what I'll do is I'll usually shoot for 5 minutes or so and then we'll sit down and we'll go through the photos that are taken and I'll do my best to say like don't you're not hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
Tell me what you like and what you don't like about these photos. And sometimes like it can be hard to admit for them to admit and for me to admit, we're 30 minutes in and we still don't really have anything, but I know by the time we get to at least an hour, I know we're going to have magic at this
Yeah.
point. So I just know that we will break through. So as a
Yeah.
photographer, like I've learned you really got to swallow your pride sometimes, in that some people aren't going to warm up as fast as other people. Some people
Yeah.
aren't going to, you know, they're going to really, you could say they're hard on themselves, or they just know what they want and they're really not going to be happy until like
Yeah.
until you're there. And so, at the end of the day, like I want all of my clients to be happy and to see the photos and love them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be uncomfortable because it's like, okay, like I thought we'd be here by now or not, but like I will not stop until I want to see that gasp of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow, like and it's real, right? It's just
Yeah.
real. So yeah, like so what are your thoughts on that?
No, no, yeah, I think we're all the same because
Yeah.
being a photographer, we're an artist in a certain light. We're creating art with a photograph, and
Yeah.
especially like with your art, yours is very emote, and some it's totally opposite depending on because there's so many different types of photographers. So
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know. It's all a different approach with people. Sometimes I'll have to shoot twice. So, I mean, it'll be like, okay, we've done the shoot. In fact, I've got one coming up. I'm going to do again. What it was my suggestion
really?
was
Okay.
we had set up something to do, and we wanted, I think we wanted 3 different looks, and that's hard to do in a session. Let me tell you,
Yeah,
especially if you're
3 is
lighting it. If you're shooting outside in
yeah,
natural light, it's easy to go to another location. You can go scout out a location and say, okay, this shoot we're going to do here, you can wear this. This shoot we're going to do here, you can wear that. But when you're in a studio, you have to create the environments. So to do more than even 2 environments in a certain period of
yeah,
time, it's difficult. When you're doing 3 or 4, you got to really have it all in your head. But we got kind of stuck on the first one, and there was one that I wanted to do was a young musician, singer, guitar player, and that sort of thing. And there was one shoot that I wanted to, we didn't have time to do. So, and I said, you know what? I don't want to just leave you with just more of the
mhm,
same. So,
mhm,
I'm going to get you to come back, and we're going to finish that one. And it's more for
okay,
me because I want that particular shoot that we're going to do, or that particular setting and that staging, is going to look really, really nice, I think, in my
yeah,
portfolio. So that's another reason. So it's kind of almost my reason to want to do it as much as just to give it to her at the same time, right?
yeah, yeah, like, that's the thing with art too, like, especially it's when you start exchanging money for it, it does become transactional, but,
Mm-hmm.
there's it's a we're both business people, you and I, as well as artists, so I find, like, we have this interesting balance of, like, yes, we respect and recognize the transaction, right? Like, your people are giving us a lot of the times money in exchange for photos, but also respect the art. Like they are paying for us to make them art, make them a
Yeah.
part of our art. And it's more than a transaction, like
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said, like it may take more time to do that. And that's not on them, right? Like that's just sometimes the process, right? Like
Yeah.
it's an
Yeah.
interesting balance I find sometimes, like running the business part of it and being true to the
Yeah.
art and and delivering what somebody wants. And
Well, that's it. You know what? That's a really good topic for another show based on what do you go through, and when do you become a legitimate business where you're actually okay, this is a
yeah,
business, I got to do this, and then does that change your artistry? So anyway, that's a
mm,
topic for another show. I think would be fantastic to talk about. Anyway, we are at our time again. So
are we really out of time?
well, I'm telling
Oh
you,
my gosh, okay.
it's just gets so fun and interesting. So anyway, Kate, thank you so much again for an absolutely wonderful talk on this stuff. That's always great to talk with you on this show, which is so much fun. So folks out there, we hope that you got some insight on this. That I think the biggest takeaway is being prepared. Do your due diligence, do your homework, be ready. So when you're ready to do a shoot, whether it's people or just going out to shoot something for somebody, even to go out to shoot, if I'm going out to shoot a moonrise, I spend a lot of time on when's it coming up, where's it going to be, blah blah blah. Be prepared, and you will be more successful each and every time. So other than that, a lot to talk about. So great topics. So again, for those YouTubers, and by the way, if you want to hear more content or you have suggestions for content like this and other things, or you want to send some of your photos in, please do, and send them into snapshots and stories at outlook.com. And we are always so pleased to get some feedback from you. So, from Kate and myself, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. So long for now.
Later.